Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Viking Spin. I'm your host Jason, and today we're going to cover, in this episode here, the OTAs 4 through 6 and some of the observations from that as far as some of the position battles and some of the chemistry that's being taken on right now with the second week in here. The Vikings are actually going to have another week of OTAs this week, and then they'll get on to the regular mandatory minicamp June 13th through the 15th. So that's going to be coming up soon. Also, we're going to get to the Twitter polls that we've had on the position battles. It's been pretty interesting, to say the least, getting some opinions out there from fellow Vikings fans. Of course, you can visit us on Twitter. On our Twitter handle is just Viking Spin. So be sure to check that out. We're also, of course, on Facebook and here on YouTube as well. So with those Twitter polls, the first one we put out for who would win the starting defensive tackle spot next to Linval Joseph. In other words, that under tackle. And the choices we had were Dayton Jones, Jaleel Johnson, Will Sutton, and Tom Johnson. And the winner was Dayton Jones. Dayton Jones got 42% of the vote, followed by Jaleel Johnson with 27%. Will Sutton came in third at 16%, and Tom Johnson rounded out the voting at 15%. The second one that we put out was for the wide receiver 3 spot. The choices, that one is still ongoing, here for a few more days, but because we usually let them go for about 7 days. And the choices on that one were Laquan Treadwell, Michael Floyd, Rodney Adams, and Jarius Wright. And right now, Treadwell is in the lead on that one. So, but like I said, we have a few more days left to vote on that. And then we just put one out this morning for the nickel cornerback spot. And the choices on that one are Terrence Newman, Mackenzie Alexander, Marcus Sherrills, and Jabari Price. Now, of course, if you look at that one, that could assume that you already know who the starting cornerback 2 is, opposite Xavier Rhodes. Right now, it looks like the reps are going to Trey Waynes. Of course, Trey Waynes and Terrence Newman were both rotating in and out on the outside cornerback spot last season. I suppose we could probably still do another poll there because it's, we're here in June, and I'm sure that Newman could still see some snaps outside. My assumption is that they're going to have Newman taking reps both at outside corner and nickel corner, so that he's ready for either role should he have to fill in or man that spot during the season. So that's where we're at with the online polls, and also we've got some news coming where Sam Bradford and Stephon Diggs in the OTAs, they've been hooking up a lot deep, and Diggs had an interview and he said Sam throws a hell of a ball early and often. So that's very good to hear that the quarterback receiver chemistry is picking up where it left off. Those two hit it off right off the bat, right when Bradford came to town last season. It's very exciting that they're going to have a full off season together to further develop that chemistry going forward. That's when you really know each other like the back of your hand. You can make adjustments on the fly, and that's when your offense gets really, really potent. Also, the Bradford was interviewed, and he had some positive things to say about Laquan Treadwell and Michael Floyd, both coming in this year, and Treadwell making a big leap, and also Pat Shurmur backed it up and basically said that Treadwell had a great last 5.5 weeks, be a really big boost to get him playing at a high level for the Vikings. Of course, Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen. That's your 1 and 2. The 3 and 4 spots. If you get Treadwell and Floyd involved, you've got a lot of dangerous targets here for Sam Bradford, and it's just really encouraging that Laquan Treadwell has stepped up. He was our first round draft pick last year, but apparently he was not 100% healthy last year. He is healthy this year, and it looks like the game is starting to slow down for him. So good news on that front. Shurmur also and Bradford both had really good things to say about Dalvin Cook. It's not too big for him. Even when he's got to go up against the veterans, he still looks like the beast that he is. Bradford is confident that he'll be a dual threat. He's absorbing the playbook quickly. Doesn't seem to be any problems there. They're going to use him in the running game and in the passing game. So, very excited to see how the Vikings use Dalvin Cook going forward. And speaking of running backs, an update on Latavius Murray. Latavius Murray had, of course, that surgery. He had been in a walking boot lately, but I guess the latest update is that walking boot is off, and Murray is getting ready to join the rest of the team at the mandatory minicamps on June 13th. So we'll see Latavius Murray start to take some reps as well. According to reports, he's been right there mentally. Shurmur said that he is, even though he hasn't been able to physically participate in the drills, that he has been asking good questions and showing that he has an understanding of the playbook. And now that he'll be healthy, he'll just go in there and physically do it. But that's a good sign that Murray stayed very involved, even though he wasn't practicing as of yet. And he's a veteran. I have no doubt in my mind that he'll be able to come in and do what the Vikings need him to do. The Murray-Cook combination is a very potent 1-2 punch. And of course, we still have Jerick McKinnon. McKinnon has been taking quite a few reps, of course, in Murray's absence. McKinnon is familiar with the offense and, still a capable reserve. He's also being looked at the kick returner spot along with Rodney Adams. Those guys are getting reps on special teams. And Adams is also taking some reps at punt returner as well. I'm sure that the Vikings will want to have a solid backup to Marcus Sherrills in terms of a punt returner. And then the kick returner spot is wide open. And, we're hearing, McKinnon and Adams to be the leading candidates for that spot, vacated by Cordero Patterson. So, some things are starting to take shape at the Vikings OTAs. Of course, we're going to have other polls that we're going to have. We're going to, like I said, we're going to take some online polls about the number 2 cornerback spot. Will Trey Waynes indeed be the number 2 corner, or will that go to Terrence Newman? We'll also have a poll on the weak side linebacker spot. That should be interesting. Got a number of competitors there. Ben Gideon, Elijah Lee, Emmanuel Lemur, Edmund Robinson, all candidates there. Kentrell Brothers is also in the mix for the weak side linebacker spot. So that should be an interesting battle. And then some other, some other spots there that I can think of. Of course, we're looking at the wide receiver 3. And then we've also got to look at the wide receiver 4. Once we do get the final roundup on the wide receiver 3 votes, who's going to be the 4. And then at tight end, I know that the Vikings they're gonna use 3 tight ends. They like to use the tight ends, and they're all gonna play. But who's going to be the number 2, so to speak? I mean, I look at it as, you're going to have a blocking tight end and a move tight end, and behind your starter, Rudolph, he can do it all. But Hodges has flashed here during OTAs, and also Nick Truesdell has made a lot of plays during the OTA sessions as well. So that's going to be an interesting battle there. I think that the Vikings will have a quality practice squad, because you're going to see some of these guys that in some of the deeper positions that are still quality players, but it comes down to a numbers game, and the Vikings will have to make some tough decisions there. But I do think that the Vikings overall have upgraded their depth. I thought that going in to the OTAs, and now that we're seeing some of these OTAs and getting some actual reports, and seeing some players in action, that these assumptions are coming true, which is very encouraging to me. Probably the most encouraging things for me have been with Laquan Treadwell and Mackenzie Alexander. Mackenzie Alexander, reports are that he has taken ownership and acknowledged his faults last season. He is going to listen to Coach Zimmer. He kind of brushed him off last year. Knows that's a mistake. Didn't really want to learn the nickel spot. Was very focused on learning the outside corner. And he knows he's in the big leagues now. Everybody's big and fast and talented, so you got to be on your game. And he's taking the advice of Terrence Newman. He's taking the coaching from Mike Zimmer this year, and he's really honed in and focused on that nickel role. And then of course Laquan Treadwell, he's getting a crack at the lineup here, taking a lot of reps with Sam Bradford, so that's a big positive. So as important as our 2017 draft class contributions are, the 2016 class is, if they can make some improvements, I think that's really going to make our season. So that's all I have for today. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.